r/ask Reddit. What are we not in the golden age of? Couch co-op. This sucks so much. Like all I want is a game me and my wife can play together. May I recommend a few games? My fiance is not a big gamer, and I am. So I have devoted some time to finding Steam Windows games to remedy this. Ribonob, Lava's in a Dangerous Spacetime, Overcooked, Shift Happens, Battle Block Theater, Lego Series. Pick your favorite. We have the Harry Potter, Putty Pals, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, Tricky Towers, Worms Armageddon. Space exploration. Not yet. Shoe fastenings. We're still using primitive ducking shoelaces just like all of those grim people in the earliest photographs. Standing there in their tall uncomfortable black boots, out in the barnyard next to the well, with the tethered mule standing dumbly by the family, all of whom look angry or like they want to die instead of face yet another brutal day trying to wrestle their sustenance out of the unforgiving ground. The well is gone. The mule is gone. Even the barnyard is gone. And we sit in our shiny air-conditioned towers talking to each other across a networked world swarmed with satellites. Yet still we wear those same laces. We tried in the 80s with Velcro. Every kid had a pair, or at least some hybrid high tops. But Big Shoelace crushed it behind the scenes, relegating it to the shoes of wriggling infants and arthritic seniors in the painful twilight of their mobility. So here we are still enslaved, still tethered to Big Shoelace, suckling at its teat as the only means of sustenance within the radius allowed us. We are the mules now. We will never escape. Congress has a golden shoelace around its neck and we will never escape. Perhaps it's a golden age after all. Just not for the minute. This guys is lasses stuff. And you would have us stay in this Jim Velcro era forever. Our salvation held just out of reach as we are told we already have it. Fastener liberty is the foot's right to breathe. And when it cannot take a long breath, laces are girdled too tight. Without fastener liberty, foot is a syncope. All of a sudden I hate shoelaces. Gene manipulation. CRISPR is at its infancy, and won't reach its full potential for a few decades I'm guessing. Who knows what could happen when we reach that point? Resident Evil, probably. One can hope. Start stocking up on typewriters and medicinal herbs. Don't forget extra ribbons and 9mm ammo. In before you guys turn into zombified monsters and leave all those items for the hero to take. Joke's on you. I plan on getting armored up and then bitten so I can be a boss enemy for the hero to fight. Internet piracy. That was back in 2009 where you couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting a torrent site. Mega uploads was still a thing. And hardly anyone was getting notices from their ISP saying pirating is bad. PLZ stop. Those were the days. I could find any textbook, any movie, any game. People will literally say this about today and the future. You can still access practically anything with a VPN and a few websites. There are enough powers at play aiming to change the internet that I would be shocked if that's still the case in 5 years, let alone 10. Ha, jokes on them. Most of us don't have money to buy this shit regardless of pirating being available. We'll just go back to waiting a couple weeks to check things out from the library. My local already has a decent modern console gaming library. Ha, jokes on you. Just wait until they outlaw libraries. You joke but they'll just defund them in the name of budget balancing. Carthaginians. The Carthaginians defending the city were attacked by 3 Roman legions. They were proud and brave, but they couldn't hold. They were massacred. The Berber women came and stripped the soldiers of their tunics and lances, and left them lying naked in the sun. 2000 years ago, and I was here. What is this from? Google only showed your comment. Patchen. The middle class worker. Wages relative to inflation have stagnated for years and the wealth gap is growing faster than ever. Further, this wealth has been used to tilt the scale even more towards those with means, which accelerates the trend. On top of the dismantling of protections and creation of even more inequalities through law. Technology is playing a role too through automation, which seems poised to send even more wealth up to those with the current means to develop and deploy new wave automation. It's okay. Once they have all the wealth, I'm sure they'll have some nice fiefdoms for us to live on. The rich deciding to eliminate the other 99% will be the greatest act of environmental conservationism. Journalism. 10 things we are not living in the golden age of. Number 5 will shock you. This is as much the fault of the consumer as it is of the media organizations. Back in the day when newspapers reigned king, you needed to buy a subscription, or at least pay for a paper one at a time, and there was no getting around it. You wanted ethical journalism. You paid for it. Today consumers feel considerably more entitled to free journalism all the time. Reddit consistently complains about clickbait journalism, for good reason. Yet many of these users are the same ones who will turn their noses up at the idea of paying a subscription fee to a respected media organization because there's so much free shit out there. So there you have it. In the end, you get exactly what you pay for. If you want your news for free, expect to be bombarded with ads and clickbait. Japanese feudalism, I guess. Just wanna hire a samurai. But I can't afford to hire a samurai because I'm paying off my student loan. Then there's a new article titled "Millennials are killing the samurai industry." There's a whole bunch of millennials who want to hire samurai, and a bunch of others who want to be samurai. I see a potential for a new $1 million matching app and a big gap in the job market. Nokia. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a long time. I went on their website and it says be less selfie, be more bothy, although you can use the front camera and rear at the same time. 4K video and 2K screen with 64GB storage and SD slot. I might look into it in the future. Virtual reality. We're starting to get there though. I give it another 5-10 years before it enters its prime. The only thing holding it back is its expensimo. I gave the Vivendel's headset a try at PAX and I have to say it really did blow my mind. I wasn't expecting much because I figured its lack of widespread popularity was because the technology wasn't really there yet. But it's pretty incredible. So much more immersive than I expected. Once we get to a place where people don't have to spend a lot of money to beef up their computers and the headsets are a little cheaper, it'll totally explode. Yeah, I think it really just needs development time money. Most games are just at the tech demo level. I'm excited to see the real deal full games experiences come out for it. Bodybuilding. Go look at the recent Mr. Olympia winners and compare that to the days of Schwarzenegger. Night and day. The bubble gut is killing the sport. Abs looking like Ninja Turtles. Yep, I was watching something about Schwarzenegger on YouTube and I might not swing that way, but I was definitely miring. Today, instead of looking like Greek gods and perfectly chiseled Roman statues, they look like, well, like the bad guys that Greek gods would fight. Almost monstrous in aspect. It's incredible. If Arnold competed now, he'd be ridiculed. He was literally the perfect mix of ducking huge and still human looking. These new guys look like plastic toys from some absurd cartoon. Alchemy. To be fair, this is the first time in history we've actually been able to turn lead into gold, even if it's very costly and impractical. MMOs. WoW peaked at about 2010 to 2011 with around 12 million subscribers. Second Life peaked at about 2009 to 2010. RuneScape peaked at 5 million in 2007 to 2010. AN peaked at about the same in 2010 to 2011. So for sure, we are past golden age. The golden age of MMOs is somewhere between EverQuest and WoW, in my opinion. That's where you saw an explosion of different titles, styles, and developers. The transition from subscription to free-to-play and freemium models. I think that's fair. If you look at how golden age is used in most other industries, it's periods of rampant creativity and many names each holding lasting merit. 2010ish was probably the height of MMOs, if you'll allow the distinction. I'm definitely a member of that second wave. Played WoW as a hardcore raider for 8 years, so I have no nostalgia for the late 90s early aughts MMOs, but I recognize what they brought to the scene and what was lost with WoW's domination. Smallpox. From my point of view, the vaccines are evil. Then you are poxed. Rock and roll. That's come and gone. Hey, my, rock and roll will never die. Toilets. Either make them all flush automatically or make them where you have to push the handle down. If it's one of those automatic ones, Please make it smart enough to not flush while I'm just sitting down or mid shit. I like to wipe down the toilet seat before I sit on it and throw that toilet paper in the water to avoid any splashbacks up my a-hole. Half the time it doesn't work because the toilet will just flush before I even sit down. And fix the bathroom stalls. No one should be able to make eye contact with me through the crack of the door as they walk in and I'm in the stall talking a dump. I travel internationally frequently. The big toilet door gaps is mostly an US only intentional design. People in the US worry about liability. Other people worry about privacy. Americans make big gaps on the door and open bottoms so people can't easily make out, do drugs, or whatever that might affect the toilet property owner's insurance. This went to Japan after years of living in the US and hating the duck out of public restrooms. It's like another world. Why is it hard to have floor-to-ceiling doors? And that little thing the door handles have that indicate if someone is in the stall make everything so much less uncomfortable. I'm not asking for the super awesome warmed seats they have, or even any of the cool hygiene features. Just a little bit of privacy. Step it up, America. Mobile games. I mean Jesus ducking Christ, I'm a gamer, and I despise mobile gaming in its current form. Microtransaction riddled at displaying bullshit apps. Kmart. This is definitely the golden age of Kmart. No lines and a bunch of weird, interesting, useless shit on the shelves. Dusty products and half of the shelves are empty, also covered in dust. The store should just sell dust. They'd make a killing. The only reason why my local Kmart exists is because it's right on the edge of campus and the other stores are a car/bus ride away. In Australia it is the golden age of Kmart. It's Target that's struggling here. Everything truly is upside down in Australia. Honestly, TV is getting worse and worse. And I don't mean the shows. Those are great. The experience of watching TV is dying. And it's these horrendous cable boxes that are killing it. And somehow every new one is worse. When something free like Kodi is better and more responsive than whatever the duck is officially running on a cable box, it's time to fire your developers and find real ones. Trebuchets. Sadly the time for such exquisitely engineered siege machinery is past. What if I need a rock to hit a stronghold about 300 meters away? WWE. WWE's booking and creative to be specific. Holy shit, do they not know what they're doing and they're just showcasing it right out in the open. Example, how many handoffs they're giving Roman Reigns, including a match I feel he shouldn't have won because he's the inferior performer to Cena. That's something I'd never thought I'd have to say considering the two. Why are there still PPVs that are named after matches? How the hell did Vince get by with a PPV called Great Balls of Fire? Why aren't people like Braun Strowman not getting an edge over Lesnar, even for one match? How the duck does this logic fly with WWE? South Park. It's still really good but early to mid zeros were another level. Make love, not Warcraft. Greatest episode of all time. How do you kill that which is no life? The Halo franchise. Sorry. I just wish that Bungie and 343 would get back together. Man. 1, 2, 3. The 3 perfect discs. Shopping malls. They are super dead and getting a little deader every day. I've seen outdoor malls getting progressively more popular, probably because they look nicer and are sort of town hubs because they have nice restaurants, movie theaters, and events going on all the time. Academia. The publish or perish mentality, dwindling research funding, grade inflation, PC bullshit, administrative bloat, etc, etc. Water cooler talk at work. 10 years ago if I saw something incredible I would talk to people about it at work the next day. But now nobody watches the same thing so those conversations don't happen. British Empire. This is why the Queen can't die. She has unfinished business. The internet. Ike is pretty much dead. Privacy is gone. Censorship is popular. And the memes are shit compared to 2006. I kind of miss the Wild West days of the internet, where you could explore so many different cool sites. Now I spend most of my time on just 4 sites. Ming. That's for certain. They don't make vases the same anymore. You don't get the same satisfaction from breaking them. We are also not in the golden age of the Ming dynasty. Wanting our children grandchildren to have a better life than us. In the UK it is the older, retired generation, our baby boomers, who are voting for Brexit and the Tories. Polls show they are prepared for a family member to lose their job because of Brexit. Charming. They are voting for the Tories who are continuing increases in pensions above and beyond any other government funding, such as pay for teachers, doctors, nurses, firefighters, schools, hospitals, etc. British boomers, the most selfish generation ever. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.